Okay, so here's the video solution for the worksheet on volume of solids, the matching part 1 through 9. All right, number 1. So it says a cylinder-shaped jar. So like a candle. Okay, it has a radius of 2 centimeters and a height of 6 centimeters. What's the volume of the jar? Well, these questions aren't any better than last night's because that's a pretty small jar. But anyway, so we know the first step after reading it is to draw the shape. And of course, this isn't drawn to scale. We only draw the shape so that we can put the information. All right, so it says it has a radius of 2. So that means this distance right here. So this is 2 centimeters. And then we know the height, okay, which is the distance from base to base, is how far? 6 centimeters, right? Okay, we know the formula for a cylinder is pi r squared times height. So we're going to use pi is 3. So what's the radius? 2. So that's squared. What's the height? Okay, now you just have to calculate it correctly. So we know we do the square root first, or the square first. So that's 3 times 2 squared is 4 times 6. So 3 times 4 is 12 times 6. So what's the volume? 72. And what's the label? Pretty simple stuff. Okay, number 2. It says a wooden block that has a hole drilled in it. That's not very good. The holes measure a radius of 8 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. Find the volume of the hole. Okay, so we start with a box. So we're assuming it's like a cube, but it really doesn't matter. So there's our, and you know, to make these three-dimensional shapes, you just use parallel lines on everything. So there's my block. So I went and drilled a hole right here. And that hole obviously extends through to the back. So it's going to come back here, that direction, and then back here, there's going to be a hole there too. So, you know, you can kind of get the idea. So this is all drilled out. Well, it says in the problem that the hole measures a radius of 8. So this little part here, I didn't make it very big, but that radius right there is 8 centimeters. And the height is 10. So we're thinking of height. This would be the base. If I were to take this shape and turn it, then this distance from here to here is your 10 centimeters. So if I took this and flipped it so the hole was at the bottom and top, we would have a little cylinder. All right, so we know that the volume is pi r squared again times height. All right, so we know that pi is approximately 3. My radius is 8, and my height is 10. So I have 3 times 64 times 10. So we want to do probably the 64 times 10, which is what? And now we can multiply by 3. Now we don't need to do this on paper. What's 3 times 40? Okay, that's 3 times 600. 18 and 2 zeros, right? So 1,800, what's 1,800 and 120? 1,920 centimeters cubed. Yep. All right, number 3.
A 9-centimeter wide cross-section pipe has a height of 13 centimeters. Calculate the volume of the pipe.
Okay, so first of all, pipe is what object?
Cylinder.
A cylinder, obviously. So it doesn't really tell us, so I'm actually going to make the pipe go up and down like that, just a little easier to understand. So it says that it's 9 centimeters across. So actually, they're giving us what dimension? What is that dimension right there? The diameter, good. So that's 9 centimeters. Again, now it's not a very wide pipe. And it has a height of 13 centimeters. So again, that's not very tall, but good enough for our work. So we know the formula is volume equals pi r squared height. And then we just substitute. We have pi or 3. Our radius is what? No, come on. There's our radius. This distance right here. Come on, $9. What's half of $9? 4.5. So that's 4.5 squared. And then we have a height of 13. So this one's going to require some calculators. So 4.5 times 4.5 is 20.25 times 13. All right, so we have 3 times 13. I can do that. But now we have 39 times 20.25, so we can do that. All right, so that's 45, 4, 18, and 4 is 22. 0 plus 2, 18. You just got to be real organized here. Go over a place, so that's 15. So that's 6, 7, 0, 6. All lined up. And 2 decimal places, 2 there. So 789.75. What's the label? Centimeters cubed. Okay, number 4.
An ice cream package is cone-shaped. It has a radius of 5.5 centimeters and a height of 17 centimeters. Find the volume of the ice cream cone.
All right, so here's our cone. And our information says it has a radius of 5.5. Okay, so our radius, and they're giving us yucky numbers, is 5.5 centimeters. And our height is, remember, vertical. So that means it's going from here straight down. This would be a 90-degree angle. So what is our height? What was our height? 17 centimeters. All right, so the volume of a cone is pi r squared height divided by 3. So we know pi is 3. All right, our radius is 5.5 squared. What's our height? 17, and we're going to divide by 3. So what's that shortcut we learned today here?
Cancel.
Yeah. Now that only works because it's not 3.14 for pi, it's just 3. But hey, makes it easier. So 5.5 squared. I need to use a calculator just like you. So 5.5 times 5.5 is 30.25 times 17. All right, and let's go ahead and do our multiplication. So 35, 17, 21. I go over a space. 5, 2, 0, 3. Make sure they're all lined up. 5, 4, 1, 5, and what? 2 decimal places. So 514.25, and it's centimeters cubed. All right, number 5. Who's got that one? I'll do it. A submarine has a radius of 920 meters and a height of 85 meters. Find the volume of the submarine. So I guess we're assuming this submarine is like a cylinder. Okay? So, something like that. Yeah, these aren't very good questions, but they're good enough. So, this distance right here, okay? That distance right there, it says is 920 meters. And the height, which would be from end to end, is 85 meters. So it doesn't make sense, but we do what we do. Okay, so we know the volume of a cylinder is pi r squared height. So we know pi is 3. Our radius, 920 squared times our height of 85. I know, it's just, that doesn't even make any sense. Okay. My fault for picking these problems, but I should have read them all first. All right, 920 squared. I guess this is good to do this type of math. 920 times 920 equals 846,400. 846,400 times 85. All right, now, I don't expect anybody to do this all by hand. So we'll do it using a calculator. So here's my 846,400. I'm going to multiply that by 3, and I'm going to multiply that by 85. So 1, 2, 3. So that's 2,158,320,000, and the label is cubic meters. That's a pretty big submarine. All right, so, hey, all we do is we just follow the directions. Next one, number 6. The cone-shaped room has a height of 15 feet and a radius of 72 feet. Find the volume of the room. So this is kind of like, this would be kind of like, who's that dude on SpongeBob?
Patrick!
But instead of having a rounded half semi, he has a semi-sphere, this is a cone room. So we know that the radius, again, is 72 feet. So that's a pretty big place. And the height, going vertically from here up, so that would be our 90 degrees, is how tall? 15 feet. Well, makes a little bit more sense than the guest house from yesterday. Okay, volume equals pi r squared height divided by 3 for a cone. So we have 3. The radius is 72 squared. The height is 15. And we're dividing by 3. So using our experience from before, we know we can get rid of the 3's on top and bottom. So I have 72 squared. So that's 5,184 times 15. And we can do that one. I'm not afraid to multiply. So 20, that'd be 42, that'd be 9, that'd be 25. So 4, 8, 1, 5, 0, 6, 17, 7, 7. So there were no decimals, so it was 77,760 cubic feet of room. Nice pad. So that's like a teepee. I guess you could look at it like a teepee room. Okay? No, it's an awfully big one. Okay, next one. Number 7.
I have a snow globe with a radius of 2 centimeters. Find the volume of the globe.
So a snow globe of 2 centimeters. That's like a marble. Okay, so here's our snow globe. I guess you could put a couple flakes in there. So it has a radius of 2. What's its height? No.
Oh, wait, no, 4.
4. We know the height is just the diameter. Okay, so we know that the formula is 2 pi r squared height divided by 3. So I have 2. Pi we're using is 3. Our radius is 2. And what's our height again? 4. We know our height is all the way across. So that's the diameter. So in this case it was 4. And then we're dividing by 3. It's important that you substitute correctly. Okay, we know we can cross off the 3's. So I have 2 times 4 times 4. That's an easy one. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 4 is 32. And it's centimeters cubed. 32 centimeters cubed. For some reason that looks big, but it's not, right?
Yeah.
We did it all correct? Okay.
But no, we didn't divide.
Now we cross it out right here. Just seems like quite a bit for that shape, but I guess it's 4 centimeters across, so that's almost a couple inches. Okay, next one. Number 8.
A rounded cup of tea has an opening shaped like a sphere. That radius is 5 centimeters. Find the volume of the cup.
A rounded cup of tea has an opening shaped like a sphere. It might have an opening shaped like a circle. The radius is 5 centimeters. Find the volume of the cup. I guess what we're assuming is we have a round type of ball, and up in here maybe there's a little hole where they can drink out of. You know, remember the old commercial where they had the orange juice? People would plunk the straw into the orange juice. So I don't know. It's like a coconut. Okay, think of it like a coconut. All right, so we know that the radius is 5. So our volume again is 2 pi r squared height divided by 3. So I have 2, pi is 3, our radius is 5, and what's our height? 10, because it's double the radius. Then we're dividing by 3. So again, we can cross those out. So I'm left with the 2, 5 squared is 25, times 10. So what's my volume of that little teacup? 50. What's 50 times 10? Okay, 500, and your label is centimeters cubed.
I'm so off.
Okay? I'm leaving that in the video. All right, the last one. Assume that a balloon is spherically shaped, a spherical shape. If you have a balloon with a radius of 3 centimeters, what's the volume? So that's, again, a pretty small balloon, but there it is. Okay, we know that the radius is 3. Okay, so our formula volume equals, 2 pi r squared times height divided by 3. So this is just practice. 2 times 3, our radius again is 3 squared. And what's our height?
6.
6 divided by 3. So we know we can cross this out like we did before. So I have 2 times 9 times 6. So 18 times 6. What's 6 times 8? 48. Come on. 6 times 10 is...
60.
What's 60 and 48? 108. What's my label? Centimeters cubed. All right. Say goodbye.
Bye.